So there's been a lot of negative news around the upcoming Ubisoft title Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I, for one, am going to stay away from that until the game comes out, because I have my own thoughts on that game, and I have my own thoughts on the build-up, my own thoughts on the characters, and everything like that, and I will leave that for if I play that game when it comes out, because this channel is a lot more positive if you ignore my Ghost of Yotai video. But what I will not ignore is a chance to talk again about Assassin's Creed, because god damn it, I love this franchise. If you missed it a couple months ago, I talked about my favorite Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And in that video, I think I mentioned that it was really hard for me to pick a favorite, because I had gone back and played a lot of the older Assassin's Creed titles in 2024 because it was on my backlog list to do so. And I played all of the Ezio installments of the franchise, because I believe he has 3 games, right? He has 2, Brotherhood, and then 1 more, I think. I don't even know. I'm such a good YouTuber, man. I just turn on the microphone and I just don't fucking shut up, and I don't do research. But while writing whatever type of script I kind of wrote for the Black Flag video, it dawned on me that even though Black Flag is my favorite Assassin's Creed game of all time, I don't know if it's the best one in terms of what the game is. It is the 4th installment in a long franchise, and there is one game in this long franchise that I think does everything almost perfectly. And I think that most people would agree with it, because it's probably most people's favorite game. And of course, by the title of the video, you know I'm talking about Now, Assassin's Creed 2, in my opinion, is exactly how a sequel should be done if you're trying to build on a franchise. I've talked about it in other videos, but Assassin's Creed 1 has aged like fucking milk. It has not aged well in terms of gameplay, in terms of just general funness to be had in the game. The game is still awesome, by the way, like Altair, however the fuck you say his name, is so cool. The setting up with Desmond is great, but Assassin's Creed 2 takes all of that, throws out the bad parts, and like wraps it up with more fun gameplay, better combat, better parkour and scenic routes, and better story by far, and just kind of shits it on a plate. And all these years later, it is still amazing. If you don't know, you can pick up the Ezio collection pretty much everywhere. I think it's on PC too. You can buy it for every console. I have it on my PlayStation 5, and it's so worth it every single time. I've seen it on sale for super cheap. I think I got it for like $15. And Assassin's Creed 2, it's funny because again, it's kind of like a start of its own mini trilogy within this major franchise. For so long, I only played 2. I didn't even play the first Assassin's Creed game until probably after the first time I ever played Black Flag, the year it came out. But Assassin's Creed 2 does everything a sequel should. It builds off of the first game extremely well with Desmond.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna need a second.
There isn't time, Desmond. We have to leave.
You've heard people probably talk about Desmond for so long. I could probably make my own video about Desmond and how Ubisoft really screwed up by essentially killing him off. But if you don't know, Desmond was the in real-time counterpart to Ezio and Altair, and was their relative in modern time. He was a modern day assassin in training. And the second game literally picks off right where the first one ends, at least in terms of him. And it introduces characters that you actually end up really caring about through Desmond's POV. And that is already a great step for a sequel to take. I mean, it ups the stakes for Desmond, but it also introduces a better surrounding cast for him to interact with, and people that Desmond helps grow with. You get to see Desmond's evolution in this game, which is something that I really love, as now we don't have modern day assassins, really. I mean, unless you want to count the DLC for Watch Dogs Legion. But I always thought the modern day assassin stories were so cool, because I would love an Assassin's Creed game set in modern times. Like, that would be so fucking cool. And I think that's probably the best part of Watch Dogs Legion is the Assassin's Creed DLC. I bought that game just to play that DLC, by the way, and it was worth it. But besides Desmond, Assassin's Creed 2 introduces the fan favorite character. I mean, it's not even close, I think. I mean, you could probably say that oh God, Edward, is that the dude from Black Flag? I think it's Edward. You could say that a lot of people like Edward more than Ezio, and I'm one of those people, mostly just because I think Edward is just such his own character. He's so cool, but Ezio was the Edward before Edward. Like, Ezio is this smug, cool, charismatic, just embodiment of a really good character. And the way he gets introduced is so great. You're just like a young guy who gets in a street fight.
Do you know what brings us here tonight? Honor. Viere de Pazzi slanders my family's name and forces his own miseries upon us. If we...
Enough of your nonsense, Grullo!
Buonasera, Viere. We were just talking about you.
Right? And that's just normal. It's like a normal way to introduce this character who eventually becomes one of the most notorious and master assassins of all time. And through his trilogy, you get to see that path that Ezio goes on. Something that I really, really like about this game is how it sets up Ezio to become the Brotherhood. I think that Assassin's Creed 2 actually really took a gamble with Ezio, because if the players didn't like Ezio as a character or as a protagonist or at all, really, it would have really crumbled the Brotherhood, because he is how we learn more through his own eyes. We get to experience learning about the Brotherhood in essentially real time, because that's how Ezio learns about it. We're not thrusted into the Brotherhood as someone who already knows it, and we don't have this master overlooker teaching us every little thing about the Brotherhood. As Ezio, this story starts off as a revenge plot. Like, you have to avenge, I think it's avenge, hold on. Either way, revenge, avenge, it doesn't fucking matter. You are going after the people that hurt you most by taking away your family. And through this big unraveling story, you find out that Ezio is in a much larger plot than anybody really could have realized. And at the same time, it connects back to Desmond and what they're doing, and it's just so good, man. I know most people have probably played the game, but I don't even really want to talk about the story that much, because it's just great. It's just so good, and you should go play it if you haven't already. The settings in the game are also fantastic, in my opinion. I actually enjoy every single section of the game. Now, I know some people have their favorites, like the starting section I think is the best, but every city that you go to, every way of traversing the world, I think just works so well for the game. And I also think it's just aged well too. It's still really fun to play. I actually think this is my favorite combat. I think Black Flag does it a little bit better, but that's not really fair, because Black Flag came out a little bit after. It came out after they learned from their mistakes, and they also introduced pirate ships. But what you have in Assassin's Creed 2 is so special. It could have been the last Assassin's Creed game for all we knew, and because it was so well received and all of the characters were so loved and the gameplay was phenomenal, people wanted more Assassin's Creed. And I genuinely think that without Assassin's Creed 2, we would not still be getting Assassin's Creed game. Now, I know, again, a lot of people don't like the modern stuff, so maybe they would have wished Assassin's Creed 2 sucked. But Ezio is an iconic character, and I think that Assassin's Creed 2 is an iconic video game, especially for the era it came out in. Again, I'm still fucking playing it to this day. It's still so fun. The collectibles are great. The parkour feels really good. Is it janky? Hell yeah. There's a lot of jank, and there's a lot of bugs, and there's a lot of mess, and I don't care, to be honest, because I'm loving it. And I'm still loving it. I always have, always will. So if you recently played Assassin's Creed 2, or you're thinking about going back to play it, let me know in the comment section down below. Or if it's your favorite Assassin's Creed game, let me know why. If you don't like it and it's actually your least favorite, go ahead and tell me why too. Everybody has their own opinion, and that's totally okay. As you're scrolling down to the comments, you're gonna pass a thumbs up button and a big red box with a little bell. Go ahead and click all three. Helps out the channel immensely. Anyways, this has been Nate, otherwise known as Wicked, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.